Okay, on the documents, have any more classified documents been located in any places associated with President Biden?
I would refer you to the White House Counsel's office.
Okay, and why do White House officials insist that the president self-reported the classified materials if his lawyers initially called the White House and not the Justice Department?
I would refer you to the White House Counsel.
But we heard from this podium the other day that President Biden self-reported the materials. That's not exactly what happened.
Who did you hear that from?
John Kirby.
Well, I would refer you to the White House Counsel. Go ahead, Karine.
Is there a specific reason the president's leaving Camp David to go to Delaware just for that one night on Sunday?
I don't have anything to preview about what he's going to be doing specifically. All I can tell you is that he's going to be leaving Camp David and going to Wilmington, Delaware on his schedule.
Is there anything you can share about his plans for Camp David since he's doing Camp David and Wilmington this weekend? Are there any meetings that are scheduled at Camp David or things that are government related this weekend?
So he tends to have internal meetings, as you all know, with his team. Don't have anything to read out as well at this time, but that is something that he often does, whether it's virtually or in person, to keep abreast.
I want to go back to November 2nd. Why didn't the president go public on November 2nd when he found out from his lawyers that classified documents were found?
I would refer you to the White House Counsel, who has put out statements on this, on their timeline, and speaking to this. My colleagues from the White House Counsel has had conversations with many of you, answering questions on this. I would refer you to the White House Counsel.
Before there was a federal investigation, he could have gone public at that
I would
time.
refer you to the White House Counsel. Go ahead, Alex.
David Axelrod, former top staffer for President Obama, wrote in a piece today for The Atlantic that Biden and the White House seemingly have violated every precept, speed, transparency, contrition of crisis communications in relation to the way that you have communicated about the classified documents found in his possession. I'm wondering if you agree with that assessment and your take on that.
Well, look, I know David Axelrod very well. I was part of his I was part of his program that he had at University of Chicago, and I respect him wholeheartedly, and got to work with him during the Obama-Biden administration. He has his opinion. I'm not going to make judgments on that, and he's allowed to share what he thinks. But I will say this, we take classified information and classified documents very seriously. I'm just not going to say anything more.
This is not a question about the handling of classified documents. It's a question of communication.
I just answered your question. I just answered your question.
You have no comment on whether
I
the White House...
literally just answered your question. But I did.
You did answer your question about whether or not you think the White House has done a good job communicating.
No, but I answered the first part. I answered it in my first part, which is I know David Axelrod. He has every right to have his opinion, and I've known him for a long time. I've worked closely with him, and that's all I'm going to say.